new drummer for a new awakening.
Hello, welcome to the Magical Mofos. I'm Althea. We were both jamming, huh? All right.
That's hilarious.
I love that
And
song. I mean, I picked it. That's why.
I know, and I am Diane Lancier. I feel like I need to
I feel like I
move
need to
this a little
adjust.
bit.
Sorry. The camera
I'm a little
looks
bit.
totally different once we get on here.
I know. Once we get on here,
I can't tell I'm supposed to be looking.
That's better. And then my hair doesn't quite fit in. That's okay. So I'm Diane Lancier of soulrestoration.ca, and we are the Magical Mofos.
Magical Mofos. All right.
Awesome.
So what are we going to talk about today?
I am, I'm like locked and loaded for this week with, I'm hosting some classes in Ma City, so I'm super excited about that. But yeah, I just wanted to give out the number before we get started. If you want to call in, what we're doing here is helping you clear, shift, release anything you'd like to clear, shift, or release.
Or if you have any questions at all, because things like the clear, shift, and release, just chatting a lot of times. So, yeah, if you have questions about what we do or anything, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, basically, if there's something you'd like to change in your life or you're not comfortable with or you feel blocked or stuck or anything like that, then give us a call. And Althea and I both have our own ways of doing things, and we just do it.
Magic.
I should have a magic wand. We should have a magic wands.
Why not, right? I don't have one.
No, well, we should get some.
I thought you had one. Like, I'll have to get one.
I actually do have some fairy wands that are wood with crystals on them and stuff, but I saw one at the party store the other day that was like just like a plastic wand with a star on the end.
All right, let's get some. Why not? We'll do it.
Okay, so
it's fun.
Yeah, we'll have to do that. Okay, so the call-in number is 602-666-6027. And yeah, we'd love to hear from you. We're also streaming live on YouTube, which is very cool. So while we're waiting to see if anybody calls, yeah, what would you like to talk about? Let's give them something. Oh, I can't sing anything. Oh, it's hard not to say stuff.
Hey? Right? It's hard not to say lots of things on here.
I know. What shall we talk about? I said, oh, we have a caller.
Yeah,
so let's just
fantastic.
Go to that so we don't waste time talking, chatting about. I'm not sure what her name is, but let's go to the caller. Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. What's your name?
Hi, this is Suja, and I'm calling from New York. Yes, you can hear me.
Oh, yeah, totally, I can hear you. So what's up? What would you like to talk about or ask, or go ahead?
Yeah, so I am in a committed relationship and with a gentleman, and we've been dating for about 6 months, and he's just recently, he got divorced 6 months ago, and when he doesn't like to talk about marriage, and he told me that last week that he's not ready for marriage yet. He wants to give it time, and I am wondering, I'm a very goal-oriented and, committed person. I have a thought in mind as to when I want to be engaged and when I want to be married. And he's like, well, it could take up to 5 years. And I told him 5 years is a bit too long, and I don't think I could wait that long. And I'm wondering, how can I keep my heart open? Is it worth it to ride things out because it's only been 6 months? Or, what is, I'm kind of like in a limbo. I'm always so ambitious and goal-oriented, and here I am in relationship and somebody who is kind of not ready yet for marriage, and I guess that's my question.
Well, what is your question?
I guess I have a couple of questions. It's, is it worth it to ride it out? In other words, 1 or 2 years and see how the relationship progresses or doesn't progress, and keep my heart open. I guess, and I want to actually clear any blocks also about I'm thinking something in me, I didn't choose myself, and I've been trying to do exercises to choose myself and clear those blocks so that, I am the problem and I am the solution. So I wanted to see if you guys had any thoughts on that.
So would you like to clear your blocks to having your own awareness about what the answer is to this?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Thank you.
Okay, cool. Althea, do you want to?
First thing, you're not a problem. Maybe don't look at yourself as a problem, because you're whole and complete and all that, for lack of a better word. That was the number one thing that stood out, is you're looking at yourself as a problem and a solution. What if there are no problems, they're not any solutions, you're just choosing things. And I also feel very strongly that, like many people are, you're connected to a big collective consciousness as well, that this is how relationships work. And also, a lot of people play the roles of women are supposed to chase the man and want to get married immediately and has to be done in this timeline. And you may very well feel that way. You may actually choose that, but, just getting more clarity and allowing yourself to go, maybe that's not what you want. Maybe you want something beyond that. But it's a very common thing with my clients, women, thinking that they have to go into a relationship immediately, wanting to get married, and then the man runs away, and then they're asking me why. Well, what if you want something different? What if you don't even necessarily want that? Because that puts a lot of pressure on you and the man, and it sticks you with it. It feels heavy, doesn't it? If you're saying that you have to be married within 5, it feels really heavy and yucky. So that's kind of a clue. Heavy and yucky and sticky, all these descriptive words. So we can definitely clear around getting other people's stuff out of your field first, if you'd like to do that, so that you have more clarity. Because we carry around our mothers and our grandmothers and our neighbors, and people's stuff gets stuck in our field, and then we think that we're making choices based on what we truly want. And so many times we're just choosing things because other people do, and we think we're supposed to, and that's just the way it is. So would you like me to do some clearing around that, getting other people's stuff out of your field first? And then we'll have Diane jump in and do some stuff?
That will be wonderful, ladies. Thank you.
All right. Go ahead and just take a breath and relax. I usually do most of the clearings pretty silently, but there we go. Just allow your energies to kind of melt into the earth.
My arm's moving around when it's
Woo! Breathe and allow everybody else's energy to shift out of your energy systems, field, everywhere. Ooh. Very nice. And give yourself permission to let go of some stuff that's stuck in there a little bit deeper. Let's go ahead and remove everywhere you're holding on to thinking that you're a problem, and whomever you pick that up from, okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just breathe. Got a little bit of tension in the back of the head. Whew. And just call your own being a little more fully into your physical body. You don't need to consciously know what that means. Just invite yourself to come into your physical body. I'm going to go ahead and delete out any patterns or programs that are running around relationships. Anywhere you're matching and mimicking or pushing against other people's relationship patterns. I want you to just breathe, and we're going to go pull in and activate some energy so you have more clarity about what you'd really like to choose as a relationship in your life, or if you'd even like to have a relationship at all, or what type. There's so much moving that there really aren't any ways to articulate it. So even when I'm trying to, that's just the tip of the iceberg of the energies that are moving. So breathe a little bit more. Allow yourself to relax. And I'm just going to release out a little bit more any distorted patterns around relationships. And let's go ahead and release any oath vows, obligations, anything I haven't mentioned in any lifetime spaces, dimensions, or whatnot with this particular person. Anywhere you feel like you have any unfinished business. Those things tend to complicate and cause us to not really be in our full choosing, so to speak. More. And I'm going to rebalance you a bit. How you doing? You feeling a little bit lighter?
I do.
We got a lot moving still.
Althea, can you also, when you said releasing oaths, vows, blah blah with this person, I was getting to, can you do that with people that she is avoiding? And what is that? It's like I'm with this person to avoid being with these other persons.
I'm kind of picking up on what you're saying. I got it. Okay. There's something there.
Yeah. Like almost hiding from other, yeah.
So everywhere you're hiding. Just bring up that energy. Don't need to know exactly what she's saying. Just bring it up a little bit more. Anywhere you're hiding this from yourself. I don't know why I try to say these things, because it's just energy and they don't have a lot of words to match. How you doing? Is anything in particular coming up?
I do feel lighter. I feel like less worried about the outcome.
Yep, I'm still moving stuff. Good, yeah. Whew. Is there anything else come into mind that you want to work on? There's a lot moving.
Can I jump in with something that came up?
Of course, please do. I'm just going to keep shifting.
Okay, cool. So what you were saying when you were first telling us the story, that you mentioned several times that you're goal-oriented, and that seems to be really important to you. So how does a relationship fit in with setting goals?
Well, this is the thing. I've always been really successful in every other part of my life. Like, I'm an amazing mom, and I have a great career. But relationship with another person, it's always, at least up until now, I'm hoping in the future, it's and now that it will be as successful, and I'm using the same techniques in my career in relationships, and I'm seeing that the success is there in the career. But
so are you equating like locking down a marriage with success?
I didn't hear the last part.
Are you equating locking down a marriage with success?
It would be, yeah, there's some part of it. For me, I want to be able to be with the right person. That's more important than locking down a marriage. But that would be, a marriage, or would be the highest level of commitment. That could be attained. And I guess I do feel like there's a level of success in it. But
yeah, because you weren't talking about him being the right person. You were talking about his inability to commit to marriage right now because he just got divorced 6 months ago. That somehow was a failure for you. So everything that is, so I'm going to use this clearing statement from Access Consciousness that can be Googled very easily. It sounds a little funny, but it's like a magic wand. So everywhere that you've decided that marriage equals success, will you destroy and uncreate that across all lifetime, space, and dimensions? Will you release all of the oaths, vows, promises, and contracts that you have around marriage and the institution of marriage, and everywhere that you have been misrepresented and degraded and disrespected for not being married across all lifetimes, space, and dimensions? Will you destroy and uncreate all of that, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. Because what would that mean for you if you never got married for the rest of your life, but you were in a happy relationship with somebody that you that you had joy with and ease?
I mean, I think that above all, it's not like the marriage itself. It really is just a really happy, loving union.
Okay. And do you have that now with him?
We do. Okay. It's the other part of it is just like he lives in Connecticut. I live in New York, and I would like to wake up in his arms, every morning, and I said that to him, and it's not like he's not really in a space to. Obviously, we're both not in a space, and I said, right now, I'm not really sure if it's ready to be locked down now, but I don't think I could wait 5 years. I think that was the biggest thing for me. It was like, oh my gosh, I have to wait 5 years.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Sure. Did you hear yourself just say locked down? Like, it's just interesting the verbiage we use, but did you hear that you said that? It's like if he's ready to be locked down? That's an interesting word to use. Would you like to be locked down?
No.
Yeah.
And that's what I said earlier too. That's what I used earlier. But yeah.
It's it's a really interesting energy because it's like you're saying he doesn't want to be locked down, but the truth is, do you want to be locked down? And it can go both ways. Of course, people don't generally like to be locked down, but a lot of times we project that on the other person. But again, it's like, would you want to go into a relationship or a marriage when you're saying you're looking for that happiness and spending time with someone when it's really connected to that locked down feeling? So can we go ahead and just release everything where you're equating marriage and a relationship at all with being locked down? Is that okay if we let go of that?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Whew. Okay, so we're going to release any implants or thought loops around marriage and what marriage is, being locked down, and anywhere in any lifetimes you were locked down in a marriage and you were trapped, and maybe you were a slave, you were someone's property, and anywhere you took any oath or vows to never do that again, and everything connected to that, we're going to release it. Just take a breath. And would you be willing to let go of that a little bit more? I want you to just expand your energy out. As soon as you intended, it happens. Let's just go ahead and call in and tap in the energy of possibilities of marriage that maybe you never even thought of. Because there are people out there experiencing marriage in the way that you say you'd like to, and many other ways. And maybe some of those ways of looking at marriage and experiencing it could really resonate with you. And let's go ahead and release everywhere that you feel like you want it so much that the wanting is not having. So you're wanting this marriage, but at the same time, there's an energy of you can't really ever have the marriage that you want. So let's get rid of that.
Yes, definitely.
There we go. Breathe into that. And whoever that belonged to. That's an old one. Whew. So any lifetimes where you ended up being with someone that you didn't love, maybe you were betrothed to someone else, given away by your family, any shock and trauma from that, release it. And then call back any parts of you, soul fragments and whatnot that maybe you lost or felt that you lost at that time, and call back all of your energies and powers from that time, space, dimension. Just relax a little bit more. Just allow yourself to just play with the energies and bring in the energies of what would you really like to have in a marriage, or would you even like to have one? Don't have to figure anything out. Don't have to answer anything now. This is for you to just tap in and play with the energies.
And everywhere that you've decided that you have to know right now how it's going to end up and when, will you please just try and uncreate all of that across all lifetime, space, and dimensions?
Yeah.
Right, wrong, good, bad, POD, POC, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Because you're talking right now about, I can't wait 5 years. And so he's told you that he doesn't know how long it will be. And he's just trying to be, letting you know where he's at. But it doesn't, what if you just made a choice every day? What if you woke up tomorrow and said, hey, is this relationship, does this work for me today? And then just do it on a just choose from one day to the next and allow it to be what it is, instead of trying to, again, lock it down and figure it out. You've already decided that what he said meant that you might have to wait 5 years, and what do you have to do about that? It's a huge, a lot for you to kind of take in and process unnecessarily. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that part is really heavy for me. So it feels like I don't even have a choice, but I really do have a choice every day. I appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah. So what choice do you not have?
Well, his parameter.
Okay.
Not
so
being aligned with
everywhere that you've made yourself the victim of that, and stayed out of choice, will you destroy and uncreate all of that and return to sender with consciousness? Whew, right, wrong, good, bad, POD, POC, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. This is the same energy that Althea was talking about, of being the victim of something. It's that heavy energy of, I don't have a choice about this relationship. You're like at the mercy of his choices and decisions. So everywhere you've bought that lie, will you destroy and uncreate all of that, return to sender with consciousness?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, wrong, good, bad, POD, POC, all nine, shorts, boys. Yeah. So everywhere that you're carrying that, I don't know, are you like, who are you being when you're being that victim of a relationship or no relationship?
Powerless, I feel.
Right. And then who are you being when you're being that?
I think I'm afraid to be my authentic self when I'm that way.
So everything that is, will you destroy and uncreate it all and return to sender with consciousness? Yes. Right, wrong, good, bad, POD, POC, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Do you think that you're the only person on the planet who's afraid to be their authentic self?
No.
No. So everywhere you bought the lie that that's you, and that's just you, will you destroy and uncreate that return to sender with consciousness?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, and shorts, boys, and beyonds. And what occurred to me was, if you were successful in relationship as you have defined it, because you've really defined it, which is conclusion, which is limitation, because you don't allow it to be whatever it be. You're not allowing it to be with him or you to be with somebody else, really. If you were successful in this and you're successful in everything else, then you would be successful in everything. And are you willing and ready to be that?
Yes.
Or are you hanging on to a wrongness of you? To have a wrongness, because that's how we function in the world. So everywhere that you're not willing and ready to allow you to be successful, whatever that means, at everything, will you destroy and uncreate all of that, return to sender with consciousness?
Absolutely. It sounds much better.
Right, wrong, good, bad, POD, POC, boys and beyonds. Woo. And that energy of, whoa, yeah, change that word at the last minute. That energy, that heaviness of, I'm no good at relationships, and that's kind of what you were saying. There's an energy of I'm no good at relationships. I get relationships wrong. So everywhere that you're carrying,
that belong to?
Right? That, like, to me, that feels like it's a huge, like I don't know, like you're carrying that for more than your family, for your, like, people, I don't know, for countries. So
world.
Everywhere you're carrying that for anybody else. The wrongness of you in relationships, and you're not being able, like, everywhere you've believed that lie, will you destroy and uncreate all of that, return to sender with consciousness?
Absolutely.
Right, wrong, good, bad, POD, POC, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. So do me a favor and bring up all of the energy of you not being good at relationships, that I don't do relationships well, or whatever the thought is for you.
Mm-hmm.
Just bring up all of that energy and then exponentialize it, make it even bigger and bigger, and bring it in around, across all lifetime, space, and dimensions, universes. And now I want you to say, interesting point of view.
Interesting point of view.
I have this point of view.
I have this point of view.
Interesting point of view.
Interesting point of view.
Whew, I have this point of view.
I have this point of view.
Interesting point of view.
Interesting point of view.
I have this point of view.
I have this point of view.
Everything is the opposite.
Everything is the opposite.
Of what it appears to be.
Of what it appears to be.
Nothing is the opposite.
Nothing is the opposite.
Of what it appears to be.
Of what it appears to be.
So how does that feel now?
Yeah, that really strikes a chord. I mean, when I put that in perspective, I'm in a very successful relationship. We're very intimately connected and authentic with each other. He has never felt this much of love and connection with anyone. He cries in front of me, and he's only cried in front of his ex-wife. So we have a very beautiful connection, and it is very successful in that sense. It's very responsive to my needs.
Yeah, and you've been trying to box it up and limit it and lock it down. So what else would be possible with the relationship if you just allowed it to be and just chose, every day or even more often? Yeah. Althea, do you have anything else?
I could probably love him more.
Love you more?
I think I could love him more and keep my heart open.
And what about loving you
more? Probably. And I think I know that I can love myself more because I see myself in a different light. It's not like the previous belief. Now it's sort of in the past. It is in the past that I can say this is success, and that not a lot of people can say that.
And what if you didn't require success? So everything that is, you destroy, not create it all, and return to center with consciousness? Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Like, don't get me wrong, if that's a good gauge for you, if that's how you measure things in your life, that's great. But I'd like you to just see that in order to, when you're buying into success, you buy into failure, because it's one end of a polarity, right? So you're buying into the polarity of failure / success. And when you allow that, when you buy into that, and you're buying into the possibility of failure, then you're still stuck in that polarity, as opposed to just living beyond it.
I'd like to live beyond that.
Althea?
And what if you didn't have to compare yourself to others? What if you didn't have to compare your relationship or anything you do to other people?
Or that
whether
he does.
It's the relationship success is like, keeping up with the Joneses or whatnot. Just kind of let that energy go. And feel into your heart. Notice how much more open your heart area is. That's what you kept talking about, too, that you wanted to keep your heart open.
Yeah.
Feel that.
It's so strange. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's so strange feeling.
Yeah, so I was going to say truth.
You're tapping into something. What's that?
Do you really want your heart open?
Yes. And I don't want to look at my sister's relationship, who she met this guy who already planned their honeymoon in 2 years. And I'm like, okay. And I want to get rid of that. I don't want to compare anything. We met around the same time. She met her guy at the same time. I met my guy around the same time.
So everywhere you're in competition with your sister or anybody else, can we let that go? Woo-wee.
Yes.
Yeah, right, wrong, good, bad, boys and beyond,
Because what if you don't even want the same things? And here you are trying to toe-to-toe match her or something. Who are you? Who's the judge of this anyway? Who wins? If you and your sister are in a competition, let's say with who gets married first, Who's the one that says, okay, who says who really wins? And then if she gets married first, she wins. Okay, cool. And then the next competition is who's happier. What's the next? Who has more sex? Who goes on more vacations? Like, all of that energy of just compete, that never-ending loop. Can we just let all that go? With your sister and anyone else you're doing that with.
Mm-hmm.
Not to release any fears where you feel like you won't know who you are without all of that. Release any fears of needing to know who you are and having some sort of box that you're stuck in. Any imprinting, overlays. I want you to just bring up the energy. I don't need to know any specifics, but all the ways that you've competed with your sister and all the ways you're still competing with your sister. Just give yourself permission to finally let all that go. And releasing anywhere you're afraid that you won't know how to relate to your sister without all that.
Yeah, and everywhere that you're competing for somebody's attention. Yeah, you're just trying to create all of that.
Woo! She's getting a special clearing tonight. And just kind of tap into your sister's energy and like just feel that you step into a different dynamic now.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear the last part. What, can you say that again?
Oh, I was saying just like feel into that now that you and your sister have the opportunity to step into a whole new dynamic and, you know, speak to each other and relate to each other in ways that you never did before. For lack of a better way of wording that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's interesting is that we're talking about competition, and you did say that you were using the tools you use in business for your relationship. So everywhere you're doing competition, anywhere in your life, will you destroy and uncreate all of that, return to center with consciousness? Mm-hmm. Right, wrong, good, bad, POD, POC, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And who does that belong to? Like, you know, would an infinite being of light, would you as an infinite being of light choose competition? So everywhere you've bought the lie of competition, just because that's how people do in this reality, will you destroy and uncreate all of that, return to center with consciousness? Right, wrong, good, bad, POD, POC, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds.
Ooh-wee.
We had a request. Sorry, I'm just looking at the screen. We have another caller, but we also had a request for the phone number. So it's 602-666-6027. So how are you doing?
It's really been very helpful, especially realizing, you know, that I'm already feeling like I have what I wanted, and that I can keep my heart open, and I don't have to stay in the victim story, and it's my choice every day. And I'm not wrong.
And you can just see that having joy and ease with the relationship is the success that you were looking for. Again, whatever that means, but and not making you wrong just to have something wrong. Like in this reality, we're so sort of taught, or, you know, like there's got to always be something wrong. You can't just be happy all the time. Things can't just flow easily. Like that's just not normal. Well, so what? Like, what if you create a new normal for you? Even if you're the only one in your family, in your community, in your country who functions that way, then be the difference and be that example and live your life with ease and with joy, right? And just be that, right? Otherwise, you're trying to find a wrongness in something really good just to have a wrongness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So cool?
That sounds cool. Yes. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for calling.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. So let's go to Emma. Wonder if this is Emma who...
Hello.
Hey, Emma, are you Emma from last week?
Hi.
Hi, it's Emma. To be continued.
Cool. Pardon?
What's up, Emma?
Hi, Emma.
Hi.
Thank you for calling in. How are you?
I don't have a lot of time. Oh, I am. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. I wanted to piggyback off of that topic that the lady before was talking about, because I found that really fascinating, because a lot of the stuff you were talking about I could see in just stuff I could see in myself. But I was very aware when she was talking about some of my, I guess, friendships that I've had, like, for a long time, where I've noticed a weird sense of, and when you were saying maybe I'm looking for a wrongness, I thought, oh, maybe I'm actually just looking for something that's wrong about me to have a problem. So that could be it. Yeah. But like this weird sense of push-pull or guilt, like I have like quite a few soul connections with certain people, and I feel this like, the word obligation came to me, but this like almost protective thing as well, with some people I meet and I love them immediately, and I feel alignment when I see them naturally, and I don't force and plan to catch up with them. But then when I'll force myself to, I'm obviously saying I'm forcing myself, but I'll agree to catch up out of natural flow. But like I'll agree to catch up out of natural flow, and my body hurts, and I feel like I have to leave my body to make myself do it. And it's like, hang on, what the hell is going on here? Because I love this person, I adore them, my heart loves them, but the alignment's obviously not there, and I feel this guilt around it. But it's not a huge deal. I've just been aware that, like, I've been acutely aware of that probably since I was a teenager. Like,
okay, Emma,
to certain degrees.
I'm going to interrupt.
Yeah, please do, because I'll just keep talking.
We only have 14 minutes.
Quiet me.
Okay. So,
okay. All right, stop me.
Okay. Let me go. Okay. Okay, where do I start? So you already know that you're doing things that you don't desire to do. So if somebody asks you, do you want to get together? Do you want to meet on this day? And you feel a resistance to that, and you make yourself wrong for the resistance, and then you force yourself to go anyway. Yeah. So what if that's the heaviness that you're feeling? Like you're even aware that you're going against your desire not to do something, and so that doesn't feel good, and that's what and then you're compounding the wrongness of you by making it about, like, because I love this person, I should do anything that they want me to do. Like, everything that is, everywhere you've bought that lie, will you destroy, uncreate all of that and return to sender with consciousness? Yeah. Right, wrong, good, bad, POD, POC, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. Like, just because you love somebody doesn't mean you have to do everything they want you to do when they want to do it, and where they want to do it, and how they want to do it. And then
forever and ever, right? and ever and ever.
And then,
but like with this situation,
when you do it against your own will, instead of acknowledging that you've chosen something out of alignment with what's good for you, then you're making it about, I'm not loving them properly. So
yeah, and I kept hearing myself say, like, because this person was going away for 6 months, and we would see each other every week, and it was just her going away party drinks. And I knew I didn't need to go because I saw her the week before, but I kept saying to myself, like punishing myself and saying, I can't live with myself if I don't say goodbye. And I was like almost being like hurting myself to make myself go. But all this guilt around it as well. I don't know, but I do it frequently.
Yes, but why?
Like, no, that's bullshit.
Why am I doing that?
Yes, you know everything.
Okay.
You know everything.
Right, yeah, okay.
So what do you know about why you're doing this? Why are you hurting yourself? Why are you choosing to hurt yourself? So everywhere that you are choosing to hurt you for whatever reason, across all lifetime, space, and dimensions, will you destroy and uncreate all of that, return to center with consciousness? And everywhere that you've bought the lie, that is going to alleviate, that you hurting you is going to somehow alleviate the pain on the planet. Will you destroy and uncreate all of that and return to center with consciousness? Whoa. Whoa. Right, wrong, good, bad, POD, POC, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds.
Oh, and blew out an eyelash.
Ooh.
Wow. Breathe, Emma. That's big. Wow.
So everywhere that you bought the lie, bought and sold the lie, that hurting you will alleviate pain on the planet. Whoa.
Or any planet.
Or any planet.
Yeah.
Universe.
Gotcha, didn't I?
All of that. Will you destroy all of that and return to center with consciousness?
There's a lot of planets.
Right. All nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. So all of your oaths, vows, communities, fealties, contracts, everything I haven't mentioned that you've signed, that you have. Oh. So anybody that you've hired and contracted to keep you in that space, to keep you hurting you, will you destroy and uncreate all of that?
Do you mean literally or?
Hmm?
Do you mean literally or just like energetically?
Like
both probably.
Yeah.
Stop distracting us. We're getting us out. Get her.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Okay, fine. All right.
Anything and anyone that you have hired, anything and anyone that you have hired and contracted to keep you in the hurting of you and believing the lie that this is somehow helping the planet. Will you fire them? Kick them to the curb, tell them to F off. You don't need them anymore. Right, wrong, good, bad, POD, POC, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Oh, that's better. How does that feel?
Wow.
How's that for you, Emma?
Like, spacious. And, like, I keep thinking, like, how the hell do you know that? Because, like, I wasn't even, like, I didn't even have words for it. Yeah, well.
Did you read our bios? Have we spoke before? Last week, perhaps.
Emma, with the magical mofos.
Yeah, magical.
No, but, like, that's not what I expected that to be about. Like, even though I felt it deep inside. Wow. Thank you. Whew.
You're welcome. Is there anything left there or is it all gone?
I notice I'm like holding myself up to the top part of my body, like I'm resisting grounding a bit, but I'm sure I'll find my way back down.
Well, I mean, I don't know what Althea thinks about grounding, but I think that's a little bit of a. I don't really buy.
I don't really care so much. I mean, you. People like it, so I say it. It brings them comfort.
Do you know what?
How can you, like, here's the
thing. I have no...
Man.
It means nothing to me, technically. Me Say that again? You're fading out.
Oh, sorry. This topic has been annoying me because I've been listening to people's, audios and stuff, and they're all emphasizing on grounding into the earth, and I'm just like, it just feels wrong. It's like I feel like I'm forcing my body and energy into a way of being that's not natural. But everyone says it, so you do it.
Yes. Yeah. And that's not what I mean at all when I'm saying grounding. And it's for me, I would just sit here and not say a word for the most part. But people like to hear stuff. They want to, chit chat a little bit, but otherwise I would just be like, all right, I need you to be quiet for a minute. Bang, 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 boom. There we go. Don't go recreating it. Or if you do, maybe choose something else. It's a little much to squeeze into an hour. or, one session or one conversation. Yeah. There's so many ways, like even the caller before, man, we could have hit that from so many different angles and so many things came up, but you just go with whatever feels light, so to speak, and you roll with it in each session, as you know. But no, I mean, I don't judge it as bad to ground either, but when I'm saying grounding, I'm not talking about sticking yourself in the earth and you can't. I mean, we're everywhere.
That's the thing.
Some people don't get that either.
I think it's really about being connected to your body, but you're bigger than your body, and so your body is just it's just a part of who you be. And so if you're trying, a lot of the energy of grounding, I think, and so I'm on the same page as Althea. I don't usually talk about grounding, but this is just me. My like, if I were ever to talk about grounding, it would just be present. Mm-hmm. But I don't need to like be rooted to Mother Earth, or I just find that's like I don't desire to be that. Like
to be locked in.
I want to be the space of the universe. So it's
and that I feel like they're asking you to, like, I feel like I'm like, yeah, but I'm all the way over here and I feel like huge and I like being huge. And then they're like, and I pull your energy in and ground. And it's like, well, I don't want to be a needle. I like being a sun.
So but the important part about that, Emma, is that if it felt heavy to you, then you just disregard it and you just go to what you know.
Oh.
And the other thing is, there's only so many ways that we can articulate certain things. Yeah. And sometimes you require to hear something worded in another way. I mean, there's times where people have said something to me and I'm like, I have no idea what the heck you just said. That makes no sense. And then I'll have somebody explain, like even a keyboard. Try and explain to me how to play keyboard. I'm like, you lost me. You lost me at keyboard. And then someone else comes along years later and they're like, and then you do this and you do this and do. And I'm like, how in the heck did I think I'm like Mozart now. I can play the keyboard. And it's just people have different energies behind the wording. So, just feel into the energy behind it too. Yeah. So that is not what I'm saying when I'm talking about grounding at all. But I can't go in every audio and every session and go, that's not what I mean. Don't feel like you're stuck in the grounding.
I love what you're saying. I love what you're saying about that, Althea, because that also brings up that maybe it's not the grounding that you're resisting or that's feeling heavy to you. Maybe it's the energy behind what people are saying.
It's the control energy.
And so maybe that's what it is. And maybe if you were listening to, let's say, somewhat like what Althea says when she uses it, I don't know, like I haven't listened to, but then maybe that's a different energy behind it. And so again, when sometimes we're aware of the energy behind what people are saying, and then we go into the causal reality and we go, oh, well, it's the word, or it's that, when really what you're doing is you're being aware of the energy of what's going on. But either way, and that's why, if you just keep asking questions about, okay, like, what is it about this that I'm not, instead of judging it or making you wrong for judging it or anything like that, and just be like, okay, so what is that what am I aware of here? Like, what do I know about this? Right. And where am I distracting myself? So everywhere that you're distracting yourself with this stuff in order to not do the work, will you destroy and uncreate all of that? Return to center with consciousness? Gotcha.
Yeah.
Right, wrong, good, bad, POD, all 9 shit.
Totally. Because in this situation, I was like, I don't want to do it your way. I see things differently. I don't want to have to follow your rules. That was really what it was about, like being told what to do when I knew different and I knew better for me.
And you weren't willing to just choose that.
I just didn't trust. I just thought, well, I feel like I keep getting myself into situations where I feel like I stuff my energy up or I let things in I don't want. And then I'm like, well, this person clearly seems to know how to keep a clean, energetic house, so I'll follow their rules. And then it's like, but that's not what my soul tells me to do. Like, I see the soul a lot differently. And it's like, that's not the way it looks. Well, not to me anyway.
So everywhere that you've decided that you should listen to other people instead of you, and everywhere that you've given other people more power than you've given you, would you just try and create all of that? Return to center with consciousness?
Yes, thank you.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. If somebody says something, yeah, go ahead.
Everywhere you feel that other people need to be wrong in order for you to be right, can we let go of all that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you also had that whole thing of trying to save planets. All right, let's let that go. Let's get rid of all that. You need to be right so I can be wrong, and then I'm wrong, and then they have to be right, whatever that is. Wow,
the right
Emma.
Polarity. Yeah. Ooh.
I just busted you out of the duality paradigm construct. Breathe. You may have a new spine.
Hey, we're going to get cut off again. We're at 40, 41, 40 seconds. We're near the end. So thank you, Emma, so much for calling back. Call again.
Yes, call again. That was awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, I still anyway, it's going to cut out. Thank you.
Bye. Bye, everybody. See you next week.
Bye, everyone.
I really do need a mic. Oh, okay.
Need a mic? I have a fake mic upstairs.